Hello everyone. This is a short kind of travel blog or frustration talk, or I don't know how you can call it. What I want to do first is introduce you to my car. It's called the Colibrí. I bought it close to Santiago about maybe 6 weeks ago, around the 20th of March or something like that. And I started my trip with this car there. The plan was to travel through South America and go with this car slowly to Bolivia, Peru, maybe some other countries, and in the end, in about half a year, go down to Patagonia. Originally by now I wanted to probably already be in Bolivia or Peru, but I am in Fiambala, Argentina. I crossed the mountain pass about, let's say, 8 days ago, and when I arrived at a very lovely plaza here in the city, I found that there was an issue with the engine for the second time. There was an issue before in La Serena in Chile, where we had to take out the engine and we had to exchange the entire cylinder heads. We also had to exchange the entire cooling system, because the car has an engine of 1.6 liters, but the cooling system was for the 1.3 liters, so that was the wrong cooling system. There was also some issues from the previous owner with I think it's the cylinder, I can't remember, maybe it was cylinder 2, which led to us having to exchange the cylinder heads. And as you can see now, there's something missing again. So now for the second time, in time frame of 3 or 4 weeks, we had to take out the motor. Now it's about some threads inside of the block of the engine that hold the stud bolts for the cylinder heads and all this sort of stuff. And at least 3 or 4 of those are bad. We're still in the process of figuring it out. I'll show you the motor in a second. So we need to put some inserts. That's essentially it. But yeah, the car has been a little bit of a disappointment, to be honest. There's been a lot of issues from the previous company, from the previous owners. There's also what I feel like have been some dishonesty by the mechanic who was involved from an intermediary company, because what I did, I used like an intermediary company that kind of administrates and manages the process of transferring ownership and also shows you the car, takes a test drive with you. So I did that, and then had a mechanic, or the mechanic of this company, check the car, but a lot of the things, or a lot of previous issues, were apparently not found. I think there were some issues with the cylinder, as I just mentioned, the cooling system, and none of this was aware to me. So it's been a little bit frustrating, to be honest. Another thing which I'll show you in a second is the brakes, where it was also not so good. But like I said, it changed the plan completely, and now I'm in Fiambala, Argentina. I've been here for 8 days, and it's very annoying. It's very expensive to do all these repairs all the time. But on the other hand, because of this, I stay a lot longer than I wanted to in those different places. You know, originally I wanted to be here 2 days, quickly do everything, maybe see the dunes, and maybe go to the hot thermal springs, and then go head north to slowly go to Salta, and then to San Pedro de Atacama, Bolivia. But now I spent here already 8 or 9 days, and I've already made some friends. I've gotten very close to family where I'm also staying at. Had 2 Argentinian barbecues by now, which are awesome. Got to see a lot of the place, got to see the dunes, got to see the hot thermal springs. Yesterday we had a good time with the mechanics. You know, we had a bit of Coca-Cola, we had some sandwiches together in the evening. All very good connections. And one of the highlights for me, if you follow me on Polar Steps, you have seen that we took a pickup tour, or pickup truck tour, through something called the Balcón de Piscis, which is like very mountainous and goes like 4,700 meters up. So we drove almost like a rally car, and I got to drive one of the Toyota Hiluxes, which was amazing. So yeah, a lot of downs with the car, but also a lot of ups that come from it. I've met a lot of good people so far. It really means you need to change gear in between, because you go from traveling 1 week in the car, you're very much by yourself, and then you're by yourself, you travel slowly, you know, you have time for your routine, you have so much time during a day. Then you get to a city, you know, you maybe stay in a hostel, you maybe stay now at a family, and suddenly you're together with a lot of people the entire day, or you need to fix something. So you really change gear a lot, and it's a really good and healthy exercise, I think, to try to figure out what is important for you, so that you can find your routine and your priorities in all cases. Yeah, I think that's what I want to say about that. I quickly show you the brakes. So it's hard to see now because I already took off the brake drums. You can see here, I think the what is called the brake material is still good. So that's not so big an issue. There was a lot of rust. It was not very good. And the reason why I wanted to look at the brakes is because when it brakes, it pulls a little bit to the right. I think it is. Yeah, it pulls a little bit to the right. And also when I pull the handbrake, I think it's called, it's not very doable. And this right brake, I figured out, is quite okay. The only thing is, I don't know if you can see it, but down here you have a thread, and in the brake drum, in the cover, you have down here the little hole. You see it between the two big holes. Yeah, pardon the references to all those holes. And there was no bolt. So that was the first thing. And then this is the right side. Then we go over to the left side. And here, I believe, I don't know yet, I need to figure it out, but I believe it's just a question of adjusting the brakes, because the room here to the outer wall of the brake drum is a lot wider. So I think so. I probably it is with this down here, but I'll wait till the mechanic is back and consult him. Here the same issue. There was no bolt, and when the handbrake was activated, I could still rotate the wheel and the drum by hand. And that should obviously not be the case, because then you have no power. Again, I hope it's just because of adjusting the brakes a little bit. But yeah. And then the frustrating part about this, I don't know if you can see me, I'll go with you to the front so you can see it also. And the frustrating part about it is that the mechanic checked this out from this intermediary company, you know. This is the car from the front. Yeah, it's a very awesome car. I really like it. It's already after, now we've been together for 2 weeks essentially on the road. The rest has been with mechanics and hostels and stuff. But it feels like my home already. But all those issues which make you feel like people before haven't been dishonest, maybe they have been tricked by a mechanic. But then also this intermediary company which used the mechanic, gave me a report, said the brakes were still good. You know, they didn't notice the thing about the cooling system. Maybe it was fair they didn't know about the cylinder 2 issue that made us change the cylinder heads, right? But it's just so many things where you feel like people have been dishonest. And one of the things you read a lot about those intermediary companies is that you need to be aware that the previous owners, they kind of try to sell less good cars better than they actually are, because they want to get rid of their cars, you know. They're not in the country anymore. So there's always a risk of them polishing a little bit of shit, and I think I got a little bit of shit now. Now let's go to the motor. So you can see the motor here, right? It's the very awesome Volkswagen Boxer motor, right? Very cool. It's 1.6 liters. Here was the cooling unit that we have already put in La Serena. So this is now a new system. I don't have access to where it is right now because it's in storage. And then you can see originally, just give me a second. We'll take the short break and bring you some words from today's sponsors. Have you always wanted to get rich or die trying? Then join our workshop on how to become a useless influencer. For the absolute bargain of 35,000 euro, you can join me in my half-an-hour workshop. If you sign up today, you get the same workshop with a 10% surcharge. If you sign up for 2 classes, you can get those 2 for 80,000 euro. So sign up today, do like me, become an influencer, forget everything about doing anything meaningful with your life, and I'll show you how to get rich or die trying. Now back to the video. So I don't know where we stopped. I will take the opportunity now to continue because 2 other customers just arrived. So originally in La Serena, I don't know how well you can see it, but this is the cylinder head. And this one we already changed to a completely new one in La Serena. What we missed then, and I think that was bad quality of the mechanic, is you see here, here and here, and down here are the stud bolts. Inside, up here, there's more that you can't see from the engine. But this stud bolt here was out of the thread inside of the motor is completely fucked. I'll show you in a second. And the nut on top of this was actually laying down here. If I can, I'll share a picture as well when I found the issue. And this one, as you can see, goes into the motor about there. It's very hard to see, but the entire first half of the thread is already fucked, and then it can't enter more than that because there's something probably blocking it from the inside. So, and this was already the issue from before. The mechanic in La Serena should have spotted it, but didn't. But the issue was still with the previous owners and them, you know, like going to shitty mechanic probably. And then you see here, you can actually see up here that inserts have already been put at a point into the motor. You see how it is a little bit wider, right? So it's not just a thread inside of the motor anymore, of the block, but there's been put an insert. And you see this one is very much outside. So this one has already left. And I think it's this one and maybe this one. Yeah, you see this one also, that are leaving as well. So at least we have those three here where we need to put some inserts and figure something out, and then that one that I just showed you on the other side. Yeah, and then the cooling unit, as I mentioned, I can't really show you now. I think else everything is quite alright with the motor for now, but it's super frustrating if you get shit from other people and you feel like they've been dishonest. Again, most of the time it's not the negative that really sticks out, you know, because you kind of have a lot of good times anyway, you know, you enjoy your time. I learned a lot about the motor. I can now adjust the valves myself. Yesterday it was pretty much just me taking out the entire engine from the car, which I've never done before. You know, I'm learning a lot about this sort of stuff now. It really puts you more into a comfort zone with mechanic stuff, so it's not so bad, but yeah, it could be better. And then you can see here from yesterday's party still a little bit of beer and all this sort of stuff. But yeah, I think, yeah, it still works. I think that's about it. I'm not sure anyone will ever see this video because I need to figure out how to put something above my face so that the entire internet can't see my face. The plan is now today we work. Well, we should have worked since 11, but he's gone to do some errands, and then I could have gone to Dino Gasta to finally get some cash also, but I couldn't. Yeah, he will be back in an hour or so. He is doing some errands, then we work maybe 2-3 hours, try to figure out one side, and then tomorrow we'll work the entire day, I think. And then hopefully Thursday I can do a test ride, and maybe Friday finally get on the road again. So that is a little bit the plan. Again, I don't know if anyone will ever see this video because I need to figure out to put an emoji on my face or something like that, but we'll see. Maybe I can ask a friend who is actually smart at technology. But that's the status. I just wanted to share this. I share some pictures also. I have about 1 or 2 proud Instagram followers. So to you, greetings, and then yeah, we'll speak, and I'll keep you posted how it goes. And if you're interested, write me to check up on the Polar Steps. It's a lot easier to share some progress updates there, to share some pictures and some thoughts along the way. That's it.